Today I'm going to be doing an unboxing of the brand new GoPro Hero 6 Black. I'm currently filming this on the GoPro Hero 5, so we'll see how this camera compares. Pop it out. This camera has a lot of similarities to the Hero 5. There are only some slight differences that I've noticed. So to actually take the camera out, you have to take the screw all the way out, and there's a locking mechanism right here that you have to pop off. Then you can put the screw back in. And you're able to pop the camera off this base. You can actually keep this plastic bottom piece as a mount to put on a flat surface if you want to have the GoPro stand up in a certain location. So here is the actual GoPro Hero 6. It is slightly slimmer than the Hero 5. Let's take the screen protector off of this as well. Just looking at the Hero 5 versus the Hero 6, this logo, GoPro logo here, is a little bit brighter on the Hero 6 as well. And the LED over here in the corner is a little smaller as well. They do take the same exact battery, so if you do have batteries from the Hero 5, you can still use them in the Hero 6. Same SD card slot. Same output jacks as well. You have an HDMI in here. The lenses are the same size. Alright, let's see what actually comes in the box. So you have their protection manual, but everyone knows GoPros don't break, so you shouldn't need that. You have your GoPro stickers, and you have your instruction manual, which if you have a Hero 5, you shouldn't need that as well. All the settings and everything should still be in the same location. You should be fairly familiar with those already. Alright, the rest of the stuff in the box, you have a curved mount for putting on a helmet or anything else curved. This is a flat mount. You could put this on a surfboard or any other location that is flat to mount the GoPro on. This is the bag that the battery was in. Here's the actual battery, and here is the cable to connect to a charger. It's USB 3.0 on this end and USB-C here. So let's go ahead and put the battery in and turn this on and get everything set up. Pop the battery in, lock it in place. Power button's right here on the side as well. Hold that down, turns on. So there's the welcome splash screen. So English for language, agree to the terms and policies. GPS I usually leave off just because I feel it conserves battery a little bit, and I'm not really using the GPS functions. That's just showing you the modes and settings, and just kind of walking you through a little tour of where everything is. If you have a Hero 5, you already know where all this stuff is by swiping. If you swipe from the left, you get your media. If you swipe from the top down, you get preferences. And if you swipe from the right, you get preferences like video stabilization and your ISO settings over there, as well as a low light mode. And you can also exit just by pulling down. I'm not going to set up the quick stories. I edit my video in Adobe Premiere Pro, so I will never really need to set this up. I'm going to cancel that and let's hit OK. Today is October 2nd, 2017, so there's the correct date, and it is currently 4:02 p.m. Correct. Alright, so that is all the setup. If I swipe to the left, it should say that there is no video on there. It's wanting me to install the app again. I don't want to install the app. It's saying that there's no SD card because it's currently in my GoPro Hero 5. Here is some of the preferences that we have that should be the same as last time. You can get your camera tour. The screen does seem a little bit brighter on this as well than the Hero 5 was. You got your updates. You can set your time and date in here. You can format your date and time. Your voice control you can turn on here. Your language, your commands for your voice control, your beeping, your LEDs on the sides if you want them on or off, or multiple ones on and some off. You can turn quick capture on and off in here, and you can have a default mode, screensavers, your screen brightness, your auto rotation, your GPS, and your language, and then you can video format here as well, and then you can output through the HDMI, and there is a spot here for audio input as well, so maybe you can use an external microphone with this. And here's where you could format the SD card if the SD card was in it, and you can factory reset. So by pulling down, we should be able to exit that screen. And swiping from left to right gets us into Pro Tune, video stabilization, your auto low light, and your manual audio control. You can see that they ship these batteries with not much juice in them. This one's only got 7% left. I'm going to go in here and hit the 4K. Automatically goes to 60 frames per second. But now if you go over here and you try doing video stabilization, you are not able to do this for this frame rate. However, if you do go back and change this to 4K, and we want to change the frame per second to 30 frames a second, we should be able to go over and now have video stabilization turned on. So that's pretty cool that you have video stabilization with 30 frames per second now, unlike the Hero 5. You can have this in wide or super view mode now in 4K 30 frames a second, but if you want to go back and change this to 4K and 60 frames a second, your only option is wide mode. So this does film at 1080p, and it does pretty good slow-mo. It does 1080p at 240 frames a second, so that should give you some pretty good slow-mo video. This is also waterproof down to 33 feet. It has the voice control and touchscreen back. Another interesting feature that would be interesting to check out is the actual digital zoom. So the digital zoom is not available in 4K resolution, but if you go to 1080p and let's just say 30 frames a second, you can open up the digital zoom here and you can see the sidebar over here and scroll in. This will distort your images a little bit and make not as great a resolution just because you're using digital zoom. It's not an actual true zoom. However, let's see, if we go to 1080p 120 frames per second, you still get digital zoom in that frame rate as well. So this is a very good buy. Different kind of approach from GoPro here, charging $100 more than the Hero 5. Are people going to feel it's worth it? Probably not. If you already own a Hero 5, this isn't going to be that big of an upgrade just to get 30 more frames a second at 4K resolution. However, this is a very good feature to have. If you're doing scuba diving, a lot of times you can film at 4K 60 and then slow that to 4K 30 frames a second so the video does look a lot smoother. There are multiple other instances that you would use that for as well. Another useful thing that this camera has is the slow motion video at 200 frames a second at 1080p resolution. So there's been a lot of video comparisons done, and you do get some distortion at that high frame rate, but it does pretty good for an action sports camera in this little form factor. And these sensors on these things are not that big, so all in all, this is a pretty good deal for this little tiny camera, and being waterproof right out of the box is a huge bonus. So if you like this video, be sure to like and subscribe, and tell me what other videos you would like to see in the description.